everyone. Let's get started in next 3 to 4 minutes. We'll wait for some time. Rootecstak. Thanks for joining us today. And today it's International Women's Day. Wishing all the incredible women out there, yeah, happy International Women's Day. And we have our special speaker as well, Deepti Ucharo. And let me give an introduction about what we do. Rootecstak goal is to spread awareness in cybersecurity and to bring out a greater number of students, professionals into the cybersecurity domain and to provide clear guidance about career opportunities. We take pride in doing that. Together, we can make the world a better cyber safe place. Introducing Root Talks, our online venture by Rootecstak. Root Talks features a series of web talks delivered by leaders, professionals, and enthusiasts in the field of information and cybersecurity. Our first online event in 2024 on the occasion of International Women's Day. Over to you, Shruti, for speaker introduction.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Deepika is actually an accomplished professional. She is currently the AVP at the ICS Risk and Control Department at the Standard Chartered Bank, and one second. Yeah, and she carries a rich experience of over 19 years in the cybersecurity and information sector, and she has also won two prestigious certifications: the Certified Information Security Manager and the Certified Information Security Auditor from ISACA. And she is also in the top 10 percentile globally in the Certified Information Security Manager certification. She's also recently obtained the certifications of NASCOM Ambassador for Cybersecurity and AWS Cloud Practitioner Essentials from the NASCOM Future Skills and the Cybersecurity certification from Cisco Networking Academy. And she's a so it we could say she is the leader in the information and cybersecurity sector. So this is about her. Over to Rakesh again.
Thanks, Shruti. Welcome, Dipti. You can take over the session.
Okay, thank you, Rakesh and Shruti, for introducing me and also for giving this opportunity to present and talk to you all, especially on the International Women's Day, where there's really a lot of space, a lot of work going on, women professionals, and there is every year there is a tremendous increase of cybersecurity professionals. I could see I'm also from based on my introduction, which Shruti did. Though now I'm a cybersecurity professional, but I started in a different career, like physics and then HR. But really, what motivated me to join in this, in this field, like how you guys are. I'm not sure the way you might be in a various background. I was told that some of them are not from cybersecurity, so and students, so irrespective what domain you are in, if you want to explore in cybersecurity or you're just as a individual member, also you need to understand the cybersecurity. It's like, when you use your money management or finance, it is not just for career perspective also, but to safeguard yourself also, you need to understand the cybersecurity. So in that way, it covers, it is a part of our day-to-day life. So I will touch upon, in my presentation, but I really wanted to emphasize that it's just not for a professional career alone, but also for your day-to-day work, also for your cybersecurity knowledge and vigilance is very much required, especially now by seeing the news and the trend of, cyber attacks. Every person, whether you're which professional you are in, doctor or you're, or financial institution or professional or CA or a normal teacher or any profession you're in, and you need to have, a basic knowledge in cybersecurity. Either you attend sessions and do a certification, or if you want to explore, you can go through the various cybersecurity journals. So you need to have that exposure. Let me present my slide. Just see whether you are able to view. Is it visible, my slide?
Yes, ma'am, we can see your slides.
Okay. Okay, this all high level about me. I think Shruti has introduced. Thanks, Shruti, for introducing about me. So basically, I did physics and then HR, and then moved to all the certification cybersecurity because not just a interest, is alone is sufficient. If you want to explore, if intention of joining this session is you want to explore your career or switch over from your existing career, you need to have certifications because after joining also I have done the certifications because as a certified professional you need to understand theoretical and the various case studies in your certifications, then only you'll be able to fulfill your job. So in my current office also, wherever we are searching the professionals, of course the interest and the person's expertise plus certifications also important. I will cover the certifications, but the main prerequisites when in now career or any job interviews, they will look for the certifications. So that's why when I switched over to cybersecurity, I was very much interested. But my boss, previous mentor and my boss said you have to do a certifications so that you can explore, you can continue this career. Of course, in the past we didn't have much knowledge, materials, and certifications, courses, and guidance. But now you have very vast knowledge and various international bodies and Indian, local bodies where you have NASCOM also such, such body where it helps provides a guidance. But you have a very good international bodies also where but you have to spend time and study, and then you can get a certification. Of course, even when some of you are in cyber security jobs, basic level or in a intermediate level, do this, spend time every day, at least in every weekend, so at least 1 hour, go through the material. Then only you can continue, or you can emerging based on the emerging techniques. You need to equip yourself with the latest technology solutions. So one thing though, which I emphasize, if you are not from IT background, it is not necessary that you have, I didn't study BS, engineering and computer science, so I couldn't join. No, it's not like that. In cybersecurity, there are various domains are there. Of course, you need a basic knowledge on the IT because cybersecurity deals with everything in IT. But however, once you join, also you can study in that. Main expectation is you need to have interest, also vigilance, the risk assessment that. And Because I'm not from the computer science background, but after joining, I studied and then explored and then did. But if you have a IT background, it's a added advantage. So, but you have to study and understand why this cybersecurity in what importance plays in the current environment, industrial space or various sectors. Then you can very well switch to cybersecurity. There is nothing, no no major concern stopping you. Okay. So let me brief about the what is cybersecurity. If maybe people who are already in cybersecurity world, you're already familiar. But students or professionals who are cybersecurity area, it is a I just want to cover on the basic concepts. So there is something called pillars, three pillars in cybersecurity. That is nothing but CIA. It is confidentiality, integrity, availability. So everything, anything in cybersecurity, all whatever the security professionals or tools that they have introduced day to day, it covers these three pillars. So anything to do. So you need to understand in these three areas what are the various attacks happening, what are the various security techniques are there. If you cover underlying these three, you will be able to understand why these certain sometimes we will understand, we will when we read the news recently, certain our Aadhaar card credentials have been hacked. Somewhere it is sort of linked to these three, because as an organization, whoever is storing their data, they should ensure these three are covered. They have put all the security measures on these three. So that's why when any person who is joined in cybersecurity will be given these three. Okay, study this. What are the confidentiality, which is nothing but safeguarding our privacy, our data. Okay, not giving
Ma'am,
everyone anything to access it. Yeah.
ma'am, sorry to interrupt. Your slide is not changed. Still, we can see contents.
What about this?
Maybe you can stop and reshare.
Okay, sure. I'm just checking. Let me know, is it visible?
Yeah, ma'am, we can see CA slide now.
Okay. Stop me when you find, it's not sharing.
Sure.
Is it okay? So this is what I was explaining, CIA, confidential integrity availability. Okay. So confidentiality, I will not touch in depth about it. But yeah, but I just want to emphasize on that. Anything, the access, everyone, it based on the requirement, what is needed, that alone is will be granted. Any professional area or health sector. In the past, everyone can access our, maybe I would say 5 years or 10 years down in the back and on the past. Anyone can view the record register. Now there are so many laws in place where only the professional or the patient family members or need to name a basis they can access this, because they would have put a lot of controls on that. So confidentiality is very important. If at all, if anyone can access our data, or even in the office, there are a lot of laws and crime in place, so that it governs that confidentiality is taken at most important. Integrity is whatever data or whatever content it has been shared to our customers as a customer, or when you're accessing bank, you're a client or a customer, or general websites that you're as a user, whatever they're sharing with us, they should ensure that the content is accurate, it's not tampered. So this is also like, if you're reading any official sources or authorized websites, they have to plays a very important role, the content that is being shared. If they're sharing someone articles or some patent details, so they have to ensure anything that they are serving or sharing the data to the end users. End user could be our customers or it could be general public. They have to ensure this content is not tampered. And the third one is availability. This is about the services should be available as promised. So when you're accessing a website, it should be present all the time. And if unless they have some stipulation, banking, online banking website. So when you access it in the working hours, it should be present, unless maybe Saturday night or Sunday night where they send a message. Okay, this so and so web, timings it's not available. If anything is impacts a customer is facing any issues on these three, very much the companies are liable. So very much we can sue. That's why any IT sectors or any companies now, they ensure these three things are covered. And even especially hospital or banking sectors, because they give a lot of importance to the customers when they serve the websites. It could be even non websites, the physical data, which I will talk about, cyber security, information security, any data, physical or a soft copy or anything, which it has to be its own, they have to ensure these three things are covered. So that's safeguarding these three and managing these three, all about cybersecurity. It's in a very layman terms and a high level. Okay. I've also given a very fundamentals of cybersecurity or information security. Because if anyone wants to check what with what I have to start learning about it, you can search these words, phrases. So this will help you. Already mentioned about first three, right? And the fourth one is non-repudiation. So these are, maybe a concepts of cybersecurity. So non-repudiation is something that, when we share the data like Aadhaar for any information based on our input, they will ask, are you the right person to share this? I'm sharing my data to update in the government records, okay, or a health department. I should be the person, authorized person to share it, because future if they're, when they're sharing the data, then I shouldn't say no, no, I never shared it. So there should have some sort of measures. The person who's providing this information is authorized person. Like opening the bank account, only you or your parents or your guardians only respond. Can do it. I cannot raise a open account for someone who is not related to me, or unless I'm being a legal authorized person for the person. Otherwise, this is a plays important role. Non-repudiation. In the past, anyone if they have stolen my Aadhaar card, they can open the accounts and or credit card and they can misuse it. But now no one can do it. Only authorized people. Security policies
Ma'am,
is
slide's
something very
not
high.
refreshed.
Okay,
Maybe if you
are you able
can,
to view this?
still in CIA, maybe if you can put it to slideshow and then try to present it.
Yeah, it's a slideshow only. I think somewhere. Can I share this deck so that you'll be able to present? Because I'm not sure why it's lagging behind. Are you able to view now the next slide?
Yeah, what is cybersecurity slide we can see. When
Okay.
you change, right? So that's where it is lagging, it seems.
Maybe yeah, maybe a few seconds or a minute lagging. Okay.
I think
So these
Rakesh, ma'am didn't share that slideshow screen. She shared that PPT screen. That's why it's problem.
oh okay, okay. What about now? Are you able to view the fundamentals of information security?
Yes, Deepthi, it is visible now.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Deepthi, can you
So
press F5?
sorry?
Can you press F5? It goes to the presentation mode.
Yeah, I think it's not visible in that, right?
Okay, I guess like it is presented in the speakers mode. You need to change it to presentation mode.
Okay, I'm not. Let me share it again. Okay, I'm sharing everything now. What about now? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Okay, sorry about it. Actually, there is some, I had a network issue in the past. So, yeah. So, I was mentioning about the fundamentals of the information security. See, if you have seen earlier slide, I would have mentioned cybersecurity. Here, information security. Do you know anyone, especially people who are in cybersecurity professional, what's the difference between cybersecurity and information security? I will cover it, but I just want to understand from the audience, uh, you know, who are having some background of from the cybersecurity space. Any volunteers? Maybe you can raise your hand. Okay, no problem. I will. Okay. Difference between cybersecurity and information security is uh, just stop me when if you're not able to view. Okay. Cybersecurity is anything to do on online, any information, digital space. Okay. So safeguarding the data and data information or your assets, anything safeguarding, protecting in cyber world. Digital world is cybersecurity. Information security is it it is also cybersecurity is also part of the information. It's like a high level umbrella is information security. Anything safeguarding your information data, either in digital world, non-digital world. Non-digital is where you submit a physical copies, your articles, your your when you open a bank account, the physical form you fill it, right? Or your data, your any jewels, or I mean not the jewels, your any copies that you store it in the bank, or the registered copies, trade copies, any hard copies, or server hard disk. All this safeguarding the non-digital format of data also comes under information security. So now, when most of the certifications talks about cybersecurity, but of course, information security is comprising of both. So that's the only difference. Majority of the discussion sessions, people change, talk, refer interchangeably, but that's a major difference. Cybersecurity only about the digital. Okay, information security is non-digital as well, and of course, both are covering the people awareness, okay, people vigilance and people awareness, which is covers both the areas. So but however, both are safeguarding our information. That's the fundamental in the information security or cyber security. Okay. Now if we talk about the mostly our certifications, major portion would be under cyber security, because it is more prone for attacking compared to the hard copies and information security. That's why when you go for a certifications, they will ensure that they're certified in information security or a cyber security. So that's where the major difference. But when you join IT sectors or financial firms, so major 80% to 90% of work would be on the cybersecurity only. But unless you're working in a branch office in the bank where they also dealt with physical copies, hard disk, and data center security. There are some, physical security of the data center hard disk where they'll talk about all this maintenance that covers, but the portion of it is very maybe 10%. But major is comes under cybersecurity world only, safeguard in the digital space. So what are what we are safeguarding and from whom? So I've just given a definition of cybersecurity, but fundamentally in an interpreted way is anything you're putting the security controls and safety measures on information systems, or apps, software, anything on the network, the channels. When I'm logging into my from my home computer, it connects to the server. So this entire network, whether it's not talking about whether you as a user is doing it or company is doing it, irrespective who does it, but cybersecurity is putting the security measures in the channels, in the network layer, or in the servers and systems everywhere, to protect the information. Not only information is about data in an organized way, or the assets, or in your operations, day-to-day operations, from various internal external, because external, or not only external but internal also, because internal means that's plays a major role, because your employees, if you're in an organization, they'll give equal importance to not only external attacks. It could be hackers, it could be natural calamities, but also internal attacks is the maybe errors, or from or internal employees who are fired, or they have left from the organization. So they'll give all our current employees who are ensured they are being trained, and they are there shouldn't be any accidental. So this main exposure is internal external employees or attacks. So that's why they give emphasize when they do assessments or they put a controls, they will cover both the aspects. Anything externally, is there any exposure, at the same time internal also. So that's all about coverage. So they have to put a lot of safety measures and controls on all the systems, digital space, to protect the information from internal and external. That's a nutshell on high level what is a cybersecurity definition. Any questions on the content that so far I've covered? It's very simple, or any questions or not clear?
It's clear, Dipti. Yeah, we can proceed, I guess.
Okay. Okay, and cybersecurity is what we mentioned high level definition. But when you talk to any cybersecurity professional, daily they'll talk about these three areas: vulnerability, threat, and risk. Okay, this is very important when we put a lot of controls and safety measures. So say putting a safety measures and controls is a very, I would say, middle. We will not start with what measures we have to take. Before that we need to analyze what are the your assets which are in the, let's take up any very small software company. Okay, so first we will see what are the assets they have. Assets in the sense how many systems, how many hardwares, how many data centers they have. So they will take the and how many applications they access. it could be Outlook, or it could be any app that payroll systems or a banking systems, a simple record leave register. All this application, they'll take it as inventory. In that they will check, what are the various vulnerabilities. It's a vulnerability is nothing but a flaw in the system. It could be maybe the system is not designed properly, or they will do a stack of it. How many assets are there? Then they'll check what are the vulnerabilities. See, a lot of systems introduced in the scanners are introduced now, so you don't need to manually check, which is also not feasible in 100% accurate. So we they have a scanners, so vulnerability scanners, using which they will run on a day-to-day basis, or periodic scan, depends on how important, how much cost involved by the spent by the company. They will do a scanners based on which we will know what are the vulnerabilities, system vulnerabilities. They will do it for the human awareness. They will do a conduct a training session. They will do assessment, how much awareness they have. So that is also from to identify flaw or lack of awareness issues from the human. And the all digital network OS scanners will help us. Process wise, they should do a periodic review of the process. Do we cover everything? And because process is something manual, process documents based on which people and process are being adhered. Okay, so using which you will know what is your vulnerability of flaws. Next is threats. So what are the various external threats that you have? Okay, you have vulnerability. One particular application has maybe passwords are not complex enough. Then threats. Is this application accessed by external people? So we also need, not if we know only the vulnerability of flaw, directly we cannot implement the control. Very costly. Some of the control meaning solution. Okay, maybe they'll provide bring a new solution product and they'll fix it, or they have to do a professional, they hire a professionals, senior professionals to do the job, or they will outsource it to vendor. These are the measures, controls. Before they go to that place, they need to understand, is it really, the flaw is there, how much they can compromise. So they have to check. Example, if application is not used by anyone outside, then the threat is very less, right? Because the application is accessed only by internal staff. They have to see only the internal staff coverage. They don't need to check, external, the cover, the perimeter, all the safety measures not required. So they are also check the threat. Once they have the threat details, then they will check, how much risk prone. So they will do risk assessment, detailed risk assessment by the cyber security professionals. Then they'll take the stack of, okay, I have these 10 applications. I'm just giving example 10, okay, exam applications, and they'll check what are the vulnerabilities for it based on the scanners and the people and for awareness. Then they'll check the threats. Then based on that, they will do assessment, how much, your risk prone in your organization, whether it's a low, medium. There is a lot of solutions in our industry, which using risk methodology they have to come up. Once they know, okay, these are low, medium, high, then they'll come up with the controls, measures they have taken. So if the company is a very small sector, they may not put a lot of controls for low. Okay, only they'll focus on high. And medium may not be, they will take day to day, they will do assessment, risk based approach they'll call it. So every industry when you join, they'll say, am I fixing everything? No, it's based on the risk based. So these are when you go to any company, any job in the cybersecurity, they'll talk about everyday vulnerability, threats and risk. It's nothing but this. And earlier talked about cyber threats, right? So this is actually not just for a security professional. It's a basic. I've given few threats. There's no, even if you're not, going to explore your career in cybersecurity, but you need to understand when you access any your software, phone, or if you're accessing, internet, you need to understand vigilant about malware. Various malware is there, virus, worms and trojans. All those nothing but a malicious software. So when you access any internet which is prone for, a public internet and not your personal intranet site, when your laptop where you've connected to Wi-Fi, which becomes anything you access internet prone for hacking. So unless you need to be understand how this virus comes into my laptop and worms and trojan. Sometimes people think, okay, this is only for banking sectors, for industry people. This, I'm just accessing my email, just a basic thing. No, everyone is exposed or prone to this. So you have to have a, how do you address it? You need to be understanding it when you access your, even if you're a teacher, you're not a cybersecurity professional, but when you access your data and when you public websites, you need to be understanding because you have to have a latest antivirus software in your laptop, mobile also. That is where the two mode of channels where you access data, internet, and you share your personal data, or you share your photos and pictures, you post it. Ensure that you are checking your privacy settings and security settings in your each and every app, social media apps, okay? Because they are prone for these, they will simply share the virus. I have a few examples also which I will talk about. Banking or credit card details, they will ask your birthday or or your full name, address. These things are you would have stored somewhere in your social media. So that's why this attacks are very, though it seems very easy, it doesn't require any software. They'll manipulate. So we have to be vigilant whom you're sharing your information. You always check, who is calling, and inquire bank, go to visit bank, or whichever health sector, hospital, before you share it. And the ransomware, because in the banking, in offices also, cybersecurity teams, they call they'll make mock phishing calls, just to check, vigilant. They will ask, okay, I'm from IT team, I need your password and ID. Really, some people share it. So it's not, so you have to be, then they will provide a training session to that person. So you shouldn't share your password because it's only personal to you. That's why phishing is became a very I would say even they are the phishing compromised by even cybersecurity professionals, because such a way they've been trained to do a phishing. But they ask question as if people will be very manipulative, you will really trust them, especially if people are not from, maybe a village, or or elderly people. They're very prone for this, so we have to be vigilant about it. You can provide the awareness to your families and relatives about it. Third one is a very ransomware, you would have heard recently about it. So they will encrypt your data, and they, unless until we give a money or any ransom, then only decrypt it. How will they encrypt your data, unless until they would have received credentials, user id, password, admin ids? How will they access it? Because encryption is the last stage. Before they encrypt, they should have accessed our systems, right? How will they access? They need some kind of credentials, user id. Without that, they will not access. They will go through phishing, and they will check the flaw system. They would have injected the virus in your laptops or your network. All these channels will go to the ransomware, and they'll encrypt. So all are linked. If you're checking separately, no, I'm very smart person, I will not get manipulated. And they will virus some, and then only finally comes the ransomware. Sometimes we will not we will think, no, I'm not rich enough, I will, even if they encrypt my laptop, I may not, it's a no use for them. We never know, some of them they will do it as a, there are so many hackers, we call it a script kiddies. They are not professional hackers, they are learning it. They also do some sort of check, use, they will refer the google and they will check how to hack. Sometimes they also do it. It's I wouldn't say it's harmful, but they are like beginners. Future, if they develop, they'll become a full-fledged hackers. So that's why we have to be very conscious on what's happening behind. I've given us some of the security attacks. So why I'm emphasizing the attacks or threats is, this gives a need for to bring more security professionals. Really, we need the people, because if you see in the past, maybe 10 years back, you wouldn't have heard much cyber attacks. It's more of a crime, physical crime. But now its trend is increasing. Also, the impact also more. So we have to understand why it's happening, and basic awareness. I also took the stats because of being an International Women's Day today. I was just checking how much, how many people, what is the stats of cybersecurity, especially women. So there is no discrimination, I would say. Anyone can, it doesn't rely on the gender. Any person can explore, and if they have interest in cybersecurity. But when it comes to women, I also personally, experienced when I joined cybersecurity department. I think hardly you can count number, maybe two people in entire department. So I was like maybe when I started my career, along with me there were one more person, one more lady. And after some time, when she went on maternity leave, she didn't join back. So the woman number I've taken 25% only in the entire, which means 75% are men. So there is no, I wouldn't say, women can do better. There is no gender discrimination. Anyone, you are certified, you have done this, you have done, certification, you have interest, and you have studied on this, you can very well do it. And but why we are emphasizing, it should be given equal opportunities. And if you explore, the numbers will be increasing it, because I'm having a positive, um it's a increasing trend. So 25%, when I started, it was maybe around a single digit percentage, 1 to 2%, I would say. Now 25%. And especially CISOs are Chief Information Security, only 16% now. It's not just a cybersecurity area, in IT sector also, which is something globally that it has to be addressed. But here, as an International Women's Day, anyone can, uh, explore this career, and you can expand, switch over from a non-cybersecurity professional to cybersecurity. But you need to study these certifications, equip yourself, and every day, because since I have experience close to 19, it doesn't mean that okay, I know everything. I'm also still learning. Today I was just learning a new article, a new solution, and the person was only 5 years experience, okay, and he was teaching me. I was, there is no such less experience or more experience on cybersecurity. You have to learn. You are a learner in every day. And I was sitting with the person, I was learning that solution, which is a security solution. So we need to have that openness, learning every day. And cybersecurity is something fresh mind, open mind, understand it, then you will learn everything. Because there is a vast amount of knowledge. There is no limit for learning in this, but you have to equip every day, learn something on this cyber latest trends, and do often certifications, especially social engineering. It's earlier I talked about phishing, right? So social engineering is there since we are childhood, okay. Maybe at that time it was about gold and jewel. Now it's information, because it's a more precious than gold, okay. It's basically you will get a call and they'll try to manipulate. That's a social engineering. Brute force attack is something, it's happened back in, where if you use a very easy passwords, a simple 123 India 123, or your name and then 123, they will have a software. It is available in the market, very free open source software. It will run and check, trial error method. It will guess the passwords with the dictionary, commonly used passwords. Always ensure you use a complex passwords. You have a special character, small caps, numbers, so that you can be safeguard from the brute force. Dictionary attacks, this is also software, okay. They will do a dictionary attacks if you're using a word which has a part of dictionary, like a depth, or deep, or your simple, some it has a meaningful, right? So then you will be prone to this attack. tailgating is something mostly used in office and tailgating. If you have access card, someone will come piggyback you and they will come along behind. You may not notice it, but they might do something, they might steal, but you will become accountable. Certain most of things we wouldn't have realized, but this gives awareness. Okay, you have to vigilant on these areas also. If many times in the past, to even I have done that mistake when I joined in the company. I was just accessing someone, the very old person. I thought, okay, elderly person. So I gave access. I was just crossing the gate. He came behind me. He didn't have access. We shouldn't be doing that, okay? Because it's not about empathy, compassion. If something goes wrong, we will be accountable and we will be punishable as per the law. So you have to be very vigilant, and when you access your access shows your identity. So other than you shouldn't be accessed by anyone else. And these are also like sort of a back end attacks. You need to be vigilant on this. Any data, this mainly for web application, internet. When you log into internet, lot of links will be there, right? Hyperlinks. So check when you click the links, it is taking to the secured website, https. And if it is going to http, you shouldn't be accessing. If you're accessing a bank website, call them, ask them, I'm trying to transfer money, where it is taking me to HTTP website. So this will prone to injection attacks, when because it will take you to the different website, unauthorized website. When you feed your credit card, they will steal it simply. And the man in middle attacks, this is also website. When you access the unauthorized website, we never know, because we will think uh, they will mail you with a lot of interest at tempting offers. They'll say, okay, you will get a 50% discount, and or 75% discount. You click this link and then update it. And also I have received many messages in a daily basis. Banking, some of the banks, they'll say, okay, you didn't renew it, your credit card getting expired, but the message would have been sent from a different number. Okay. Or the email, you will get it with at, you just check the domain. If it's at the I would example, I will use State Bank of India. Check what is the official domain. At SBI, or at SBI customer service, check that domain in their professional website, authorized website. And check whether you're getting the email from that domain. Otherwise they will use some dot, space, or one, or some numbers, which it will manipulate, when you check this, it will show it as a authorized website, but they will it's a unauthorized website, email address. Then they'll ask you to feed everything. Mostly, even if you get a mail from authorized email, don't share or upload anything in the emails. Go to the bank and then update anything. If it's a non privacy data, it's simply like, are you going to take up these details or something, then you can, but I would suggest don't reply just take all the mails as a information only. Don't respond anything over emails on the calls. Go to the banking website, banking branches, and then do that. Anything to do with our hospital, they ask you to upload this. Go to the hospital and the bank and show them, this is this a website you are trying, you're asking me to upload. Then do it in front of them, because nowadays it's very hacking became a very smart compared to the people who are supposed to protect it. That's why we never know where it is, what sort of they will try to have a lot of system, stimulating websites, which will easily to manipulate. Okay. So I just want to highlight. And of course, we was talking about only the negative factors where various attacks. But of course, every industry and every country, they have a very good stringent laws. This will safeguard our laymen, general public. So I've just listed down various laws and bodies. This, they monitor it, they will govern, and their various laws are introduced. So every company in the, any country, when they set up, when they try to take the data from us, from the general public, they have to follow these laws. Otherwise, and India also recently introduced a Privacy Act, security, cyber security in IT Act. So all this they have to be, and RBI also reviews all the financial data. They'll check the apps and they will do a periodic audits. And Big Four also performs audits for the companies. So these are safeguarding from a government. At the same time, as a general public, we also need to be very vigilant, and cyber security professional, from there also, as an employee of any company, you also need to ensure that you follow your company rules and you follow the all the vigilant. So all three places, people need to play a major role: government, as a general public, and as a cyber security professional, as employee, should work together to have a very safe cybersecurity environment. Otherwise, any one area is flaw, I wouldn't say we have a secured environment. So I'm giving it a pause. Any questions? We have 7:46, so only we have 14 minutes.
Participants, if you have any
I
questions, you can feel free to ask in the chat or by unmuting your mic as well. So feel free to interact with our speaker.
Any questions so far I've presented, or any general questions in cybersecurity? Also, free feel to ask. Is there a question?
Hi, Diti.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
hi.
Tell me,
So,
Lokesh.
yes, I have a few questions. So, like, I thought I could wait for other people to finish, but as nobody has asked,
Go ahead.
yeah. So, for freshmen, like, how to use AI to learn cybersecurity? I have some three, four simple questions. So, yeah, we'll go on by
Mm-hmm.
one. I'll
Okay.
repeat for freshmen, how to use cybersecurity. I mean, sorry, how to use AI for cybersecurity.
Okay. So cybersecurity, as I mentioned earlier, you have three areas, right, to safeguard confidentiality, integrity, and availability. AI is used mostly on the detecting, where it has various solutions are there. Use the AI to monitor it, because some of the cybersecurity tools very difficult to do a manual. So AI is being used. Of course, AI also they check, they will configure all the settings whether it is does so as required, because most of the AI can be used on the monitoring space. We have a logging and monitoring, detective controls we call it. So we have earlier I talked about the risk assessment, right? The controls I mentioned, but we have a three type of controls: preventive, corrective, detective. Detective controls where we are using machine learning and AI, and of course that when you use AI, that also is undergo scanning whether your whatever AI is using machine learning, is it a safeguard? Is it introducing more threats, or is it really detecting what what doing the what it is supposed to do it? That's why when they use any AI, any security solutions, it undergoes a risk assessment scanning to ensure that it doesn't have any vulnerabilities of flaw. Then it has been used for most of the, compared to all three areas in cybersecurity. Detective controls, SLM, that is a logging and monitoring space, it has been used because it sets some sort of prerequisites. It when it meets those prerequisites, automatically sends alerts, and which turn into incident management. So there is where the major space AI is being used. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And like there are many people from like rural areas here. So
Hmm.
like if you could suggest any books to aid their basics of cybersecurity, like that would be helpful because like international courses are not doing any help because like they are too much in English and people barely understand it and like even with subtitles sometimes people get lose track. So if you can suggest any books by Indian authors, that would be very much helpful.
Yeah, actually, now RBS is also introducing basic guidelines to all the Indian citizens by considering the banking and health sectors. I can, I don't have handy because I refer ISACA journals. I have a membership, which is an international body. Yeah, I agree. In the beginning, I also found very difficult to when I was sharing this information with my parents because they live separate, alone in a village. Uh, my mom prompt to calls and easily she will be manipulated and start sharing her information. So I used to tell her in a very simplest version, I draft and send it to her because as I mentioned, cyber security is a very only the recent trend. It India a lot of they are developing and creating a lot of materials. In the past, we have to subscribe, pay a lot of amount, but now in India we have a lot of trainers and RBI, that's a free journals are available. I can share that maybe with Rakesh and I can share circulate to the members. But the books as such, hard copies, more than hard copies, because the reason why hard copies more than hard copies you check in the website is cybersecurity is something, it's not constant where it's a basic it goes, every day it evolves. That's why we always check in the soft copies and websites to go through the basic materials. Hard copies no longer I would suggest, maybe it gives a definitions, but what are the recent attacks which are helpful, how the people, what is the phishing, that can be checked in the we have websites, reading materials. I will share the websites with Rakesh and so that he can circulate it to you. I'm not sure non-English, but simple English can be, because this is I'll check whether the in Indian languages the websites are available. But yeah, at least basic English materials which I have shared with my parents, I can share it.
Yeah, that helps very much. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Niti.
Any other questions?
Participants, any questions that you have?
Also, I just want to touch about the cybersecurity people who want to explore.
Hello,
Yeah, sorry, I think someone was talking.
can you listen? Hi there. My name is Adriano. I am from Mozambique. I'm currently working as a network analyst, and I have some doubts. Do
Yeah.
the digital world, our kids are using a lot basic endpoints like Android phones and tablets, even PC and video games. How
Hmm.
we can use cyber security to teach them how to be safe on the internet. Being know they are
Hmm.
kids and many things they don't understand. How kind the approach we should use to teach them cybersecurity and how to be safe? Because if some kids wants to buy a video game,
Hmm.
they could be fishing and probably they using his father or his mother card number, and they got hacked or phishing or got espionage using a Trojan application game, so on. That is my doubt.
Okay. See, actually, kids depends on the age. If it's teenagers, or the less kids less than 10, because one is from a parents. As a parent, we need to set the security settings in your mobile, where it is not by default. Because now we have that automatically credit card information is being stored in your payment applications. So because of which the moment without in your absence also they'll log in and they'll do a transactions. Also in the recent news journal they will mention, so and so kid has used and done of transaction high volume transactions. It allows because when we set that application we need to lock it as a so not so this vigilance is not just for kids alone. As a parent, when I'm giving when my phone is being accessed by the kids, we need to ensure that payment apps are locked. which maybe we can set the pin so that we only can log in and open it. For the kids, if you're the infants and less than 10 years, where you're not giving them voluntarily, so that it you lock all the apps which has a payment information, and whichever is allowed they can give it. But teenagers, where you're giving them a phone, or they're logging into their own laptop and they're doing some transactions, check the security settings. And second, if they're accessing laptop or mobile, have a latest software, because it's not just a one control will help them, it's a various controls it should help them. You have to have a latest malware protection. And second is the app login ID password. It should be complex a password, and there should be multiple levels of security. It should, now most all the countries, not just a login user ID password you can access. There should be a second level OTP or a fingerprint. All this multi layers of, we call it as a multi factor authentication. So I wouldn't suggest to do a transactions by the kids, but it should be done along with the parental guidance. But if they're accessing any websites, okay, with it's a non-transaction or non-payment apps where they are browsing something and they're sharing the photos and pics like that, and every app has a social media app, Facebook, Instagram. Settings are there. Most of the people, they will ignore that settings. You see who can view your data, whether your friends or general public, everyone. Ensure that you disable everyone. So every app, when you log in first time, when you set the ID password, check the privacy settings. It is a mandatory that every software company, when they design these apps, this settings should be enabled, so that user, or we as a user, will set enable that settings, and it is allowed only to our friends who are part of your friends group. In a way, even if their photos are exposed by mistake, they share it, it will be only exposed to the friends, not to the general public. So, and plus of course, those you need to see how much, always, even if they are in the friend circle, we do a conduct awareness sessions to the kids in the school and the college. Don't share your personal photos in the social media, because social media is like a open space. They will say it's only the recipient is only person, but all the calls, all the media photos are recorded. We never know at the end user for receiving, whether they'll store it or they can publish it in the media. So that's why when the kids, you always give a not just a material. I can refer the websites, but you have to ensure they share the information whether it's really required for them. Always question why, and are we sharing too much of information, and is it really required the person to see this information, or is it something that personal, and it is because we have a GDP laws, privacy laws in every country, where they have listed down what information you can share and what information they can question ask us to share it. So these kind of, there are laws. But yeah, if for your kids, personally, same I shared with my son as well. Disable all the settings where they can be shared to everyone. And the payment transaction, you do it for the kids if they are very young, or if they are doing it, if you're allowing the kids to do it, be with the person and when they do a transaction, and set multi-factor, not just a user ID password. Don't save everything in the system, because when there is a option every laptop, it will say auto save it. Don't do that. And manually feed very critical applications. I don't store my banking passwords in the laptop, where next time when I log in, it doesn't automatically update the, maybe learning apps I will do it, but not the online banking. Maybe you preserve in a different app and
Okay,
lock it
thank you.
like that. Okay. Any other question?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I was actually, I've taken a list of do's and don'ts. I will share it with though it is actually national copy, but it's a publicly available website, this data. It is gives probably this can be shared with our kids. and parents. I will share this document with Rakesh so that he can share it across. So there's a general, email. How do you manage it? What has password? How do you handle it? What are the main don'ts? Okay, and the computer, your laptop, or your mobile, or do's and don'ts. So this could help a basic information. But I would suggest with your kids and parents, give them explain it to them in clearly. It's a very simple English, but you can explain to them, and also kids especially just monitor. It's not like you check all the transaction history, but at least be vigilant because they are not sure of it and they are very vulnerable. So be with them, just explain what are the consequences so that they'll understand. It's not that you're too much you're micromanaging them, but you're very these are the things various happening, so give them awareness on that so that they will be vigilant. It's like someone will steal their very valuable information, so they also should aware. I think schools and colleges also, these such awareness sessions are being conducted. If they are not conducting, you ask your kid's teacher to conduct the sessions, because this now it became a mandatory. Every school has to have that such sessions. Even I have received a notification from my son's school that there is cyber security session is schedules, and I've got the updates also that it happened and it is being frequently being conducted. So this is a very good initiative. I'm sure if there is no such session, you raise a point in your parent teachers meeting. There is such session is really important because you can see the latest news. A lot of kids are being, uh, because the hacking happened when the kids, when they in during investigation they found only the kid is accessing the laptop and they were trying to do a transaction, not the parent. They would be using the parent's user ID password. Don't share your password id to your kids, okay, because they are might be innocent and they will not know the consequences. Change the password if they are aware of it. Or the credit card information, don't share it. It's not that you're very close, you're affectionate to the kids that you're sharing. No, you are safeguarding them, okay. Unless they have become adults, it's better that you guide them on this. Any other questions? I think we are done, right, Rakesh?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
if
And
you have any questions.
yeah, on behalf of everyone, that is one common question, right, for most of the people. So, can you suggest how one can shift from current role to cybersecurity role if they are from different backgrounds?
Yeah, I was actually the slide I prepared, but since we have non-cybersecurity professional also, I mean, just okay. Um, there are a lot of academies uh, who are providing training as well as certifications, where if you are applying a job, nowadays you apply in a software now Korean in India, right? When you apply, they will check the certifications. So through certifications, there are two type of you can have. One is just for general knowledge and the awareness. You can attend these training sessions, or they will get a certified, and using the certification you can apply the job. So I have done in Isaka 1 and ISC score. So basic courses, to it starts from very basic SISM. And also I have not done CompTI, but they also have a basic beginners sessions. It talks about what is cybersecurity and CIA and how to safeguard. But CISM also talks about basic information security. So I started CISA, which was very difficult in the beginning, but CISM is a starting course. You can do that. And ISC score also has a this is CISP is when you finish your graduation. But all this, they require some sort of eligibility criteria. You should have some experience, job experience, to do this. And I've just limited an council. There is something called ethical hacking. This is what the most, and Cisco, and Cisco also has a CCNA network. So there are in the past, anyone wants to do cyber security, they used to do CCNA, where some amount of technical knowledge is required. But if you want to switch over into the process related cyber security, you can go in ISACA. And In India, all this ISA square, international standard of organization. There's also, I wouldn't say very expensive, but nominal compared to international courses. You can do ISO 27001 lead auditor, which I have done it in the past. This is also very basic because you need to see two things. Certification should be that the content should be easily to understand for the beginners, and nominal, then you can go for ISO 27001, because in Indian organization or any not the big MNC scale companies, any country, it's an international course only, but it is very content is very easy to understand. And then as you go in, you have to do a certifications further. Once you finish your beginner courses, you have to do intermediate and do advanced. Then only you can go on, you can go up in your ladder in the cybersecurity world. These are the very few, but you have more courses in that. But what I understood from this it goes even for beginners a very granular level. But I would suggest go for SISM also. Talks about the operational element, process related also. And before going to certification, you can also go through those course materials. And these are actually professional bodies where you have to register and pay. But there are also international websites, easy registry. I mean, free registration, Cybrary. So I'm not the authorized person, I'm not advertising it, but from my experience I have done it. Cybrary, I have registered, I'm doing the courses all cybersecurity. It's free of cost. It doesn't have any certification, but you before you do a certification you have to learn, right? You have to undergo trainings. So this website also has that basic courses for beginners. And it's a free of cost. And CompTIA also is there, but it requires some, you need to pay something. But Library, I checked personally, it's a free of cost. You can go through the initially how what is the cybersecurity basics, and then you can go for certifications rather than applying for registering a certification and do a course. Then before that you go through materials, understand the basic courses, and then go for a certification. But job Naukri and the job seekers, they mainly check ISO 27001 LA and ISACA ISC square. That's what I'm also one of the recruiters for my team or for the department. I do provided training courses. Also, of course, I do I'm part of control testing. But when we do a initial screening, HR, they'll check the certifications. So among most of these certifications, they will see ISO square, ISO 27001, CCNA, ethical hacking, which I've presented, right? SISM, and here also there is a CC certification in ISC squared, which are basics. So these are the few. So there are so many, but I'm just giving a, by considering time, basic certifications are there. Or you can attend the training sessions, full-fledged workshops with Cisco, CCNA, or certified ethical hacking, where the persons who have not do not have a much cybersecurity knowledge, they have attended the session. I've seen a vast improvement after the certification. Also, CISM. It's also basics about the certification, cybersecurity, certified information security manager. The manager means doesn't mean that you will play the manager role, but to get into the cybersecurity also, it talks about the various roles and responsibilities from the cybersecurity department. Yeah. Any other questions?
And we have one in chat, ma'am. How can we know that program is authorized or not?
Okay. Program actually websites are, you have to check their websites. Program is you have to do a scanning only. When you do a scan or you have an antivirus malware in your laptop, it scans for you. Unless what is the purpose you're trying, there is a open source software which is actually released by the various companies. In the website they will mention the version. some tag is there. So then you can use open source is the authorized program only, but open source at name it say it's a prone it's a released for general public. If any hacking is there, it is up to the end user interest whether you access it or not. But any program that you use as an individual member, you buy it from the authorized vendor. Otherwise, if you're using downloading from the website, check in your laptop antivirus whether it's after scanning it warns you that. Because normally when any program that you purchase, you have to purchase, unless you have any open source which available freely. It also check the it's not like a payment transaction. You check HTTPS. Programs and all doesn't have that. We check for whether it is purchased from the authorized vendor. And if you're checking the MS Office software, normally we take a free material or from the laptop when we buy, right? But you scan it. If you're taking such discounted versions, use your anti-malware, subscribe it, and it will scan for you in the program. And if it's a vulnerable program, unauthorized program, it shows the results. Then you have to uninstall, buy it from the authorized companies and authorized websites. So there, how do you identify authorized websites? When you search it, it's a company name. It will mention all the customer surveys and the contact and the website, what products they have released. So from the product list, they will give a software details, and there you can purchase it. But yeah, majority people they buy free software, but it is prone for malware, malware. So you go for a anti malware software. That's a basic expectation in any laptop. Plus go for your VPN when you try to access Wi-Fi, and go for your private network. Don't go for publicly available Wi-Fi's, because through internet also when you try to access malware, possibility of getting the malware. So even your Wi-Fi will installed your private service providers, buy purchase VPN, so that it is you can access your internet through VPN only. But suppose in your laptop, when you access, if your system is hacking, you will not know how, whether it's a hacked. A system becomes very slow, and it is taking a lot of space. And it says your space is very limited memory space. That means then you run your anti malware software, it checks any malware is there. So without knowing also, there could be a malware in your laptop. And it will check and tell you. Because basic recommendation is, go for purchase anti-malware software in your laptop or a mobile. Don't use a free software for that. Okay.
Okay, I think if we don't have any more questions, we can conclude. Over to Lokesh.
Okay. I think you are on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, as now we have come to the end of the event, I'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for your active participation. And before we wrap up, let's extend our gratitude to our exceptional speaker, Ms. Deepthi Uchuru. Her expertise have undoubtedly enriched our perspectives. Extending my thanks to the whole Rootecstak team who has helped this event to happen. This also marks the beginning of the Root Talk series of Rootecstak. Let's carry the insights gained, contributing to a stronger, more resilient cybersecurity community. I'd like to wish a happy Women's Day to all the wonderful women who have joined the event today. Until next time, Rootecstak team. Bye.
Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for the time. Yeah.